So, what happens when your memory of your own day is, well, broken? I don't mean just a little fuzzy. I mean full of huge, unexplainable gaps. Today, we're diving into this incredible story about how a simple security camera got turned into a powerful tool for rebuilding a personal timeline, one objective piece at a time. Just try to imagine this for a second. Your day isn't a continuous movie like it is for most people. Instead, it's just a series of scenes. That's it. You might remember making breakfast, clear as day, and then boom, it's suddenly evening, and you have absolutely no memory of the hours in between. That's what it means to live in these isolated bubbles of time. Now, there's a clinical term for this: structural amnesia. And it's really interesting because it's not that the memories themselves are gone. Think of your memory like a giant library. All the books are still on the shelves, but the card catalog, the entire filing system, has been completely wiped out. You don't even know a book exists, let alone where to find it or how to put it in the right order with all the others. So what does it actually feel like to live that way? Let's get into what happens when your own personal timeline is just fundamentally broken. Most of us just take it for granted that our life story makes sense, right? It unfolds in a straight line. We get that A leads to B, which leads to C. But when that simple continuity just vanishes, your whole understanding of reality gets twisted. The source material for this explainer uses this incredible metaphor. Your memory is like a piece of fabric, but if that fabric has way too many holes in it, you can't see the pattern anymore. You lose all the context. And without context, trying to understand your own life becomes almost impossible. And the real-world problems this creates, they're huge. Your sense of cause and effect gets totally scrambled. A simple 24-hour day can feel completely unreal, which, as you can imagine, leads to massive scheduling nightmares. It forces you into this state of constant hypervigilance, where you're spending a ton of mental energy just trying to figure out what's real and what's not. Okay, so if you're facing a problem that deep, what on earth can you do? Well, this leads us to a really brilliant solution. If your internal system is broken, you've got to engineer an external one. And this right here is the game changer. It's about shifting from being a victim of a faulty memory to becoming an engineer of your own reality. You literally have to build a system outside of yourself that you can trust to give you the objective truth. So, what's one of the most reliable, impartial observers you can find in almost any environment today? A security camera. But in this context, it's not about surveillance at all. It becomes the one source of undeniable proof when your own brain just can't provide it. This completely reframes the whole purpose of the camera, right? It's not just recording a space anymore, it's recording time. It basically becomes your own personal time machine, letting you go back and piece together your own past. And this just perfectly illustrates all the new hats the camera starts to wear. It's a prosthetic memory, right? It fills in the blanks your brain can't. It's an external hard drive, creating a shared, stable memory for all the fragmented parts of a self. It's a time-bending mirror, letting you see yourself objectively from the outside. And maybe my favorite, it's a digital loom, weaving all those broken threads of time back into a single piece of fabric. Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's walk through the step-by-step process of using camera footage to rebuild an entire 24-hour day. The process is really methodical, almost like a forensic investigation. First, you identify a gap, a chunk of lost time. Simple enough. Second, you use the camera's timestamps to backtrack and find that exact footage. Third, you start logging the objective, undeniable facts. A phone call happened at 2:15 p.m., a package was delivered at 3:30. And finally, you analyze the activity, not just what happened, but what was your physical state. Were you active? Were you resting? This gives you a complete picture of what your body was actually up to. The impact of using a technique like this is just profound. It's not just about filling in your calendar, it's about fundamentally changing your entire relationship with reality. This slide really lays out the transformation perfectly. Over on the left, you have the internal state. It's confusing, it's fragmented, it's based on gut feelings, and it feels completely unreliable. But then you look to the right and you see what the camera gives you: a continuous timeline, verifiable facts, undeniable proof. It takes those isolated bubbles of time and turns them into a single shared reality. And that's the crucial thing to understand here. Using cameras this way, it isn't born out of paranoia. The real goal is integration. It's about taking all the fragmented pieces of a day and of a self and using objective data to stitch them back together into a coherent whole. It's really a tool for healing. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. We all rely on our brains to be the main narrator of our lives. But what if that narrator suddenly became unreliable? What external tools, what kind of technology would you trust to help you write your own story?